Okay, welcome everybody. Welcome to our ECF panel. Our host, Melissa Arias, is going to take it from here.
Hello, everyone. I think everyone's getting in. So thank you so much for joining us today. Unless you're a panelist, if you could please turn off your camera and mute your mic so that we don't have any distractions now, I would appreciate that. At the end, if you have a question, we'll ask you to turn on your mic and your camera as well. Please hold all questions to the end or message them to Nikki in the chat and she'll help us organize the questions. We've received a number of questions at registration and we're going to do our best to answer them all during the panel or at the end. So at this time, we're going to have all of our wonderful panelists introduce themselves. If you can give us your name, your title, your role with ECF. I'm going to first turn it over to Michael Kennedy.
Hello, everyone. My name is Michael Kennedy. I'm the food director at the South Point Hotel and a past chairman of the Epicurean Charitable Foundation and current board of directors. So happy to be here today and thank you for the opportunity to speak the good word of ECF.
Stowe, would you mind introducing yourself next?
Yes, my name is Stowe Shoemaker, and I'm so lucky to be the dean of our college, the Harrah College of Hospitality. And I'm on the board of ECF as kind of like a non-voting member, but very supportive of this organization and love working with it.
Martha?
Hello, everyone. My name is Martha Morales, and I'm the current general manager at Nobu Hotel Caesars Palace. I was fortunate enough to be honored the scholarship back in 2005, attended UNLV, graduated class of 2009, and now an alumni, but also sit on the executive board of ECF as the secretary.
Thank you, Martha. Karen?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Karen Nava Robles. So during the day, I teach at Valley High School's Academy of Hospitality and Tourism. Fun fact, I actually graduated from that program. In the evenings, I also work at the Venetian Resort and Hotel Operations, all while serving as Vice President Alumni for the ECF's Associate Board.
And Brandon?
Hi, everyone. My name is Brandon Scarberry. Thank you for attending the Lunch and Learn panel and checking out this great opportunity. I'm a scholarship recipient as of 2017, and I'm currently on my senior year at UNLV's Hospitality Administration program.
And have you chosen a job for after graduation?
Right now, my current plan is I'm going to be going to Alaska this summer, and I'm going to be the bar manager at the Pit Bar in Naknek, Alaska. Fantastic. Which coincidentally is an opportunity I got via this program. So it's very exciting, super, super awesome opportunity.
Thanks, Brandon. That sounds great. And even though he's not a panelist, we also have with us Christopher Alfieri. He's our program and operations manager. So if you do get the scholarship or if you work with ECF, I'm sure you're going to hear from him a lot. He handles everything ECF, all of the ins and outs with paperwork and onboarding and everything else. So hi, Christopher.
Thank you.
So let's get started. Michael, first question's for you. What is the ECF scholarship?
Well, Epicurean Charitable Foundation has been providing full ride college scholarships since the early 2000s. It's more than a full ride scholarship beyond tuition. We pay books, all fees associated with your program at the university you're attending. But beyond the scholarship, it is an opportunity for mentorship. I think that's the biggest differentiating factor between our scholarship and other programs. We provide mentorship throughout the entire experience. So each student, when they're selected as a scholarship recipient, they will get paired with somebody from our board. Each year, they'll rotate to a different board member. They continue to build their contacts throughout their college career. We have them work events with us. They have internship opportunities, job opportunities, and guaranteed a management position upon graduation.
Wonderful, thank you. And so the hospitality, the scholarship are good for just the hospitality majors. And so you do have to be within the hospitality major. You can minor in other minors, but ECF does not pay for that, of course. And you can go to ecflv.org in order to apply. Can you tell us, Michael, a little bit about the Epicurean Charitable Foundation's application process and the deadline?
Yes. So first of all, you have to be in it to win it. So go to ecflv.org. You have to apply. A couple of criteria. You have to have a 3.0 GPA or higher throughout your high school career. We're looking for local Clark County high school students and also freshmen and sophomores at UNLV, same 3.0 requirement. Family income needs to be below $70,000. So scholarship deadline is January 30th. So you go online, apply for the scholarship. You have to submit your transcripts, letters of recommendation. You have to fill out an essay, and the essay should embody a few things. It should talk about why you want to be in the hospitality industry, what's motivated you to be in the hospitality industry, and why should we pick you? Because we have limited dollars and so many people applying, and we want to make sure that whoever we give the scholarship to, we can get them to the finish line. So your passion needs to come across in that essay, and all that paperwork that will go to Christopher will get you to an interview process in front of our interview selection committee.
Now let's talk a little bit about that first step, that application process. When you get that application in front of you, what are the little details that you look for? What are the things that these applicants should realize before they even make it through the door?
Yeah, so Melissa and Christopher put together a binder every year of who has applied. When I get that binder, and I know Martha does the same thing, the rest of our board of directors, we go through and we read everything you wrote on that application. One of the first things I'm doing, I'm Googling your name. I'm checking your social media. I want to see that you're somebody who's going to represent the ECF brand. If you're going to be one of the future leaders of hospitality, I expect you to represent ECF to the finest. So your social media needs to be clean. It needs to be upbeat. It needs to be positive. I'm looking at your email handle. What are you calling yourself? It needs to be job appropriate. The email address you had when you were 12 years old on Xbox doesn't apply anymore. You're going to college. Okay, things have changed. I'm looking for volunteerism, because if you're giving back while you're in high school and you're giving back to the community, that just goes to show what you're going to do as a student, how you're going to represent ECF. And as somebody who interviews and employs lots of people, I look for that when I interview candidates for any job inside of my department at the South Point. I want to see people who give back to the community as well. So those are the few things for me.
Now, obviously, it's been a funny last year. And so this is sort of a question on volunteerism. If they haven't had the opportunity to volunteer because of COVID, does it matter if they volunteered in 10th and 11th grade to you?
No, if they've volunteered at some point, if they've shown the opportunity in the past, and I know we're in challenging times, I'll also take into consideration, your family obligations, right? Not all families are created equal. So if you're at home tending to your little brothers and sisters or helping mom and dad, and you don't have the time that maybe some other students have, I take that into consideration. And when I hear you tell your story, whether it's via the essay or when you get in front of us to say that I spent a good deal of my time mentoring my siblings. I'm the role model for them. I have to clean the house. I have to contribute to household income, things like that. That works for me.
Now, one of the questions we received from a student on the call is, what is an employer or community service recommendation? Now, obviously, this year, it might have been harder for many of you to work or to be involved in your community service. So what that is just a letter of recommendation saying you've been involved in the community or you've had a place of work. It's something that most of these organizations are very comfortable supplying for you. We've never had a year before where we've said not to bring one of those in, but if you haven't had that opportunity because of COVID, I would say just get a letter of recommendation, a character reference, someone who can say, yes, you've been involved. You're not just sitting at home doing nothing, but someone who says that you give back, that you've had an impact in their life. So is there anything you'd like to add to that, Michael, since that is something new that we've never really approached before?
Yeah, I would say that there's, I also look at your participation in school beyond academics. Were you involved in organizations and clubs, athletics, any of those things? Because that just shows that you're there for more than just the grades. You're there to become a well-rounded individual, to give back to your school. And COVID or non-COVID, you could still participate via Zoom. I know my daughter is doing that right now at her school. She's able to participate in clubs and activities. Looks a little different. It's on Zoom. It's not in front of everybody, but the participation is there nonetheless.
So you can probably get a letter of recommendation from the teacher advisor, from that club president, from someone in any organization that you've been involved in. Last, on that essay, definitely just to elaborate on a few of the pieces that Michael said, proofread it, check your grammar, give it to your friend to proofread as well. It's really important that you really shine through that first step. That's the first thing that we see, the first piece that comes through the door. So make sure that it's a good representative of who you are. Now, last question for you, Michael. They've wrote that perfect essay, they've changed their email address from, likes to play video games 123 to something more professional like michaelkennedy@gmail.com. They've gotten the interview. What does the board, specifically the selection committee, look for in an applicant? What's the process? What can they expect?
So we understand if you're a high school senior, even a UNLV freshman, sophomore, maybe you haven't had the opportunity to be in front of a group or panel for interviews. So we understand you might not be as polished as others, but we want you to come in with a few things. Come in prepared, right? Go to ecflv.org. Know about who we are, what we do, know our mission statement, know our board members, know a little bit about them. When you walk into the room, wear whatever you have that best suits you for that day and that got you to the table that day. Walk in, look everybody in the eye, maybe knuckle since we're not doing handshakes at this time, but just come in, show the respect to the interview panel there that you have prepared. This isn't just about your grades. Again, we're not giving you money and saying bye-bye. We're giving you money and saying, you're paired with Martha now for the next year. Martha's going to invite you into her hotel. She's going to mentor you. She's going to bring you behind the scenes, give you all these amazing opportunities. We want to make sure you have the passion, the fire. So what I would tell you, prepare, go for it. Don't leave anything on the table. Go for it, go for it, go for it, okay? ecflv.org, you have to apply.
And the one piece of advice I'll give you students is exactly what Michael just said, apply. We are looking for someone who excites us, who has that passion for the hospitality industry. And I always give everyone a piece of advice that I wish I knew when I was going through college and my first jobs, is that everyone on the other side of that table wants you to succeed. They are so excited to get to know you. So when you walk in that room, you don't need to be nervous. Know that they are all as equally excited as you are to be there. And they're so excited to get to know you. So just bring your true self. All right, we're gonna move on. Dean Shoemaker. Now, question for you. How does a student get into a university such as UNLV? Maybe someone that doesn't have someone in their family, or maybe that college prep or admission process seems a little foreign to them. How do they get in? How do they make it?
Well, it's actually very easy. It's very intimidating to think about applying to college, but we've made it very easy at UNLV. In fact, we even have a director of admissions, sort of a director of enrollment, Alexandra Liebman, who will help you with the application process. But you can go on to UNLV. Sort of UNLV.edu and look under admissions, and there's really very clear on all the things you need to do to apply for college. But what I would recommend, and I'm going to put my email in the chat box in a minute, if you look at the website and you become panicked and it looks like, oh my gosh, like my wife, right? She doesn't like technology. So I'm always her technology person. So don't be embarrassed if you look at it and go, oh my gosh, I don't know where to go or how to do it. Call us, email me, and we'll connect you with someone who can walk you through the application process. I think the critical thing about getting into college is really having good grades while you're in college and while you're in high school. I mean, a lot of times you think, well, it's not really going to matter what I get in this class, but we do look at the GPA. So it is important to take every class seriously, even if you really don't like the topic. We want you to show that you may not have liked course A, but you still managed to do well in it because you put in the work to get it done. So I think that's the big thing, is do well in school and fill out the applications, which are very straightforward. And again, we have people here in our college that are willing to help you make it easy for you. So don't be stressed out about it.
Thank you. Now, what do you feel is the importance of higher education in the hospitality industry? Does it get you further?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and I really appreciate it, because a lot of times people who have worked in the industry for a long time, and this happened to me when I was in high school working, and I was told, well, you don't need to go to college. I didn't go to college, and I'm doing really well. And I think what college does is there's a couple things that really college does, and specifically hospitality. You really don't know, our program is so diverse and our industry is so diverse that there's so many areas of hospitality you could go into, whether it's the food and beverage side, whether it's the operations side, whether it's events or the gaming, etc. And what an undergraduate degree does, one, is it gives you an opportunity to try a lot of different areas of hospitality, things that you might think you like, but then you spend a day in it and you go, oh my gosh, I would hate that. So one thing is it gives you exposure to the whole realm of the industry. Okay. The second thing a college degree does is it gives you the opportunity to try out different sort of personalities. Like, who do you want to be? How do you want to be known? Right. And you'll meet lots of different people in college that are different from where you grew up. And so meeting different people and learning traits that you see in other people that you would like to be, or traits in other people that you want to make sure you don't happen. So it really becomes a great opportunity to just figure out who you are and who you want to be. I think that's the big thing. And then of course, the third thing is it really gives you a lot of critical skills to think about, right? So in other words, you have homework to do. So it teaches a lot of discipline. It teaches you how to think differently, how to analyze problems differently. And then the final thing is you really just, you meet a network of people who are different than you, have different interests. And as you progress throughout your career, you'll be calling on those people because you remember you were in class together and you have a question and they can help you. So I think those are all the reasons that it's very important to get a college degree. And what's happening in industry too is in order to get promoted, you almost have to have a college degree. I can't tell you how many people I've met who are really senior executives of major brands who say, I never got my degree. I worked my way up to president, but it's the one thing I regret is I don't have my degree. And so what I would urge you to think about is 30 years from now, you want to be able to say, I went to college and I got a degree. And you want to be able to tell your kids that I went to college and got a degree, because it shows that you were basically disciplined and didn't take an easy way out by just working, but put your time in to learn, to grow, and to become who you want to be. That's a long answer to.
No, that's a great answer. And everything, education is the one thing that they can't take away from you. And
That's
being
true.
educated and having that knowledge base will only advance you. It will never be a negative. So thank you for that. And you touched on your network. And I think Las Vegas is such a strong community in having the importance of your network. And that's the one thing that we really stress at ECF. Your fellow students, your alumni, your board members will soon be your network. And that will help you through the industry as well. And it's not always who you know, it's who knows you. So we want to make you strong young people. So thank you for giving them the other side, which is that strong educational base. Now, the scholarship.
Could I just say one quick thing? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And that's always hard when you're on Zoom because there's always that delay. So it looks like you stopped speaking. So I didn't mean to interrupt. There's a great saying called dig your well before you're thirsty. In other words, start working your relationships before you need a job. And what college does, or what ECF does, is it puts you in an environment where you can really start building a network. Because someday you'll need that network, and someday the network will need you.
Exactly.
So I apologize for interrupting.
No, not at all. That's a great piece of advice. So we're pretty new at actually offering the scholarship to current UNLV students. Does the scholarship, one of the questions we have from one of our attendees is, does the scholarship require admission to specific colleges or universities? We have had students who have attended Johnson & Wales, Penn State, CIA in New York, but I do want to say that you know, the #1 hospitality school in the world is right in our backyard. And having someone like Dean Shoemaker on our board is really a great resource. So the answer is no, we don't require admission to UNLV, but it is certainly something that we consider first. We love UNLV. I hope you all consider that school, and I hope that that Dean Shoemaker really gave you some insight into what he loves about it. So if you would say the one thing that is great about UNLV rather than going to other schools, what would you say? Why go to UNLV?
I think the reason that we would go to this is what I tell parents all the time. Hospitality is a passion. It's in your blood. And the key thing about UNLV is we are a hospitality school focusing on hospitality operations. What's happened in a lot of hospitality programs around the country is they basically become business schools with hospitality examples. We've taken a totally different approach at UNLV. But we're basically saying, if you want to go into operations and you know, you want to be like Martha, you want to be like Michael, you have to have a really good understanding of what the business is all about. And what we've done in our curriculum, we have a great curriculum where we only have about 54 credits that are required. And then we have 30 credits of electives, and 15 credits will give you a concentration. So you'll take your core courses in hospitality and service operations, but then you'll be able to get a concentration in a specialty, whether it's events, whether it's gaming, and we're adding these concentrations all the time. So it really gives you the opportunity to really become a great leader in this amazing industry and get lots of work experience, get lots of mentorship experience, and you're in the greatest sort of hospitality operations mecca in the world. And that's why we're #1 in the US, #2 in the world, is because of all the things we offer in our college. And it's a great price value.
Thank you. That's
especially
very
to get
true.
the scholarship.
Very, even more so then. So we're very blessed to have a relationship with you and with UNLV. Why did you choose to become involved with ECF?
So I really became involved with ECF because I'm so passionate about hospitality, and I'm so passionate about the mission of ECF, which is really giving people the opportunity who might not have had the opportunity to attend college, and to give them that opportunity in a way that can help change their life. You know, I truly believe that there's no business like hospitality. It really doesn't matter what your mom or your dad did, but if you have a passion and you have a great education, we can change your life. And you know, I always wanted to be a professional hockey player, but my parents didn't play hockey, so I wasn't born with the hockey gene. But hospitality, I fell in love with it, and I think with ECF, and it's not just a scholarship. I think what's really important to remember as you're applying for ECF, you're not just applying to get a free education. What you're really applying for is to get the mentorship from the time you start school and all the way through. You get access to mentors, you get access to extra help for classes, you get access to early enrollment for classes, and almost ECF becomes a security blanket to help you be successful, right? And that's what I love about it, is because it's not just giving away a scholarship, it's saying we're going to create an environment for you to be successful, because college is intimidating. You know, I mean, it's very intimidating, and even, you know, and so I remember when I was in college, I was like lost, right? And I didn't do well my first couple of years because I didn't know what I wanted. And then finally I found my passion, and I didn't have the mentorship that ECF offers. And I think that's the thing you want to focus on, is the ability to meet really leading. I mean, our board is made up of just incredible people in this community and in this industry who can help guide you. And it gives you the opportunity to ask questions that you don't want to ask when you're interviewing for a job, right? Because by accepting you into the program, we sort of love you automatically, right? And we're going to be there for you no matter what. And that's, and finding an organization that is so committed to helping people change their lives and giving them opportunity is why I'm so passionate about ECF.
Thank you so
That's
much.
kind of, again, I'm a professor, so I can then give a lot of long answers. So
I
let's
enjoy
go.
it. I enjoy your words. Well, speaking of fantastic people in the community, Martha Morales is here with us. Now, Martha, why would you tell these students to apply for the ECF scholarship?
Thank you, Melissa. I think Dean Shoemaker hit it right on. It's if you're passionate for hospitality and you need that additional support, it's not just money. And if you need monetary assistance, obviously we do that. But I think the biggest thing was, I'll take myself as an example, and I knew Dean Shoemaker talked about it, but I was the first one in my family to graduate high school, the first one to attend college. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't understand how to select my classes. I didn't have anyone really to turn around and ask just for any guidance. I was fortunate enough to get the scholarship, and that's what the foundation did for me. Being around people that you wish to be like, it's really truly life-changing. There's this saying that I've heard that someone said, you can't be what you can't see, and it's so impactful when you're part of a foundation and you see yourself, you're around all these executives, these hospitality leaders, and the entire time you're like, I want to be like Michael. I want to be like this person. This is who I wish I can be like. It really makes a big change. So I think that's the biggest reason that you should. If you want to support, if you need a support system, not only is the board there to assist you, but also the fellow alumni. So we have all of these students that have gone through ECF, that are part of ECF, that are graduates or are currently in the program. They're always there to assist you and guide you and take notes. If you have a class that you're struggling, someone else from the foundation, guarantee you took that class and can assist you through your struggles.
That's wonderful. Thank you. And I love that saying, you can't be what you can't see. I once heard that you are the average of the 5 people you spend most of your time with. And I think that's really
like really smart people.
Yeah, you need to make sure that those 5 people that you're spending your time with at school are the ones who are going to class, going to the clubs, not clubs like the dance clubs, which, that's not what I meant. I meant
We don't have those anymore. Well, not no.
Going, being involved in the clubs at school and are taking leadership positions, because those are the people that you want to measure your success against. So
Sure.
Thank you. And now tell me, how has ECF helped you directly?
Oh man, so much. So as an 18-year-old graduate, and the best meal I've had was Olive Garden. I think by the time I graduated, not knocking on Olive Garden because their breadsticks are amazing. But one, it helped me, it opened up, I would say, the doors per se, for lack of better words. It's funny because I tell people that when I joined ECF and I was invited to dine in these amazing restaurants and meet with my mentors in the hotels and these beautiful elite restaurants, I didn't even know how to eat. So the fact I didn't know how to eat, I should say, with a fork and a knife. I'm Mexican, so we only eat tacos with tortillas. So one, I learned how to eat with a fork and a knife, which that's big for me. So it helped me understand what's fine dining. Two, it helped me meet people in the community that share the same passion that I did, that wanted to be in the service industry. And then 3, how it helped me is I graduated without debt, and being around people now my age in their 30s and having this $50,000, $60,000 loans, and they're struggling because they have to pay their loan and their rent. I think that was a big, not only was the mentorship beneficial, but also graduating without debt was definitely a lot of help.
And I like what you talked about, how to eat properly with a fork and knife, because that's one of the first things we do. We do this amazing etiquette lunch with our students so that You can learn not to butter your bread like a little heathen, like apparently I was doing, and where to put your napkin. Yeah, I learned a lot from one of our past etiquette trainers, Anna Marie Marmondo, where to put your napkin, how to feel comfortable.
Absolutely.
I think that's incredibly important, is that we want you to feel comfortable, because a lot of business deals are made around the dinner table.
Correct. And how just to be around executives. It is, and I know you mentioned it, Michael mentioned it, it's scary walking into a room and everyone's in a suit and you know that everyone is in a leadership position. So that's another thing that ECF did for me. Being around executives just makes you a little bit more comfortable. And one, you understand how to speak to them, how to act, how to dress, how do you address someone, how do you, take a business card, you don't put it away, away right away. And there's just so many little things that you get to learn when you're part of the Epicurean Charitable Foundation that it will help you in the long run. So when you're in an office, and I know my first meeting when I became a supervisor, I felt a lot more comfortable being around executives, because I had been around executives since I was 18 years old. That's huge. And not a lot of 18-year-olds, 18 to 23, get that opportunity.
Exactly. Now, it's been a fun, yes, Stowe.
Yes, I just wanted to add, and I, I think one of the things that, since we're giving sayings today, like you can't be what you can't see. Another great saying is sort of feel the fear, but do it anyway.
I love that.
And look, I'm a dean of a hospitality school, and I still walk into a room and I'm nervous, right? I feel like I don't really belong in this room. I don't belong with these people I'm meeting with. And what I've learned in EC, and what I've learned over 50 years, and which I think ECF is so good at, is it teaches you how to, even though you're uncomfortable in a room, how to not act uncomfortable, and how to have the self-confidence to be able to be who you are, not in a phony way, but in a very authentic way, and how to work with others. And just a proper eating is important, and learning that you should always dress for the job you want, not the job you have. And I'm embarrassed and I'm not in the suit today, and I didn't think, and I should have been, right? Because I'm on a video interview and I should have been in the suit. And that's a lesson that I would have learned in ECF, and I should have learned by now. But all of these are the things that ECF will teach you. And again, I want to stress that we're all fearful of going into environments that we don't know. And it's very easy to just always stick with what we do know because we feel safe that way,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't grow. And ECF gives us the opportunity to grow, because the people we're working with love us unconditionally, right? We accepted you into this program unconditionally, and we want to help you be successful. And that's the biggest gift that we could ever give anybody.
Thank you, Stowe. Agreed. Now, obviously, it's been a funny year, lots of changes in the wake of COVID-19. What do you think, Martha, will be different when this generation of students enters the workforce? What are some of the things they can expect?
There's a lot more technology. There's a huge technology push. I think as pre-COVID, we were slowly advancing into adding a lot more technology in our rooms, in our restaurants, just overall in the properties. And I think now with after COVID and everyone being so hyper aware of sanitation protocols, one of the things that you can expect coming in to hotels and just properties is a lot more technology, a lot more do-it-yourself, a lot more mobile device usage, which we didn't have in the past. So I think that that's one of the things that you can definitely expect when you come in. Some of the jobs being realigned as well. Now after COVID, we have the opportunity to really look at our business and say, what's necessary? What do guests really like? It's almost like we're getting this blank statement to say, what do people really want from our hotel? So I think you'll be a little bit different, not too different from what you're learning, what you will learn in school. But I think technology is a big one. If I were to, I've had students that ask me, what should I focus on? What should I do? I think technology, just focusing, understanding technology, how to utilize it, digital, and then Excel. I don't know, and I know Dean is on here, but Excel is huge. Analytics, understanding and how to use analytics, how to read numbers, and utilizing Excel. I myself did not utilize Excel in college or in high school as much as it is necessary now. So I tell students when they ask me, what is the number one thing that you would tell me to focus on? And I said, utilize Excel, understand the basics of it.
And I think this generation more than ever is great with technology. Yes, Michael.
So yeah, great with technology. Martha makes great points, but remember, we are the hospitality industry.
Correct.
The human touch points.
Correct.
It's easy to get stuck right now behind the keyboard and cameras, but we're all about hospitality. Is that attitude of gratitude. You have to be able to let people feel that. Technology is great for service. You get service from an ATM machine, but you don't receive hospitality. Do you know what I mean? I just want to make sure everybody understands. Learn the technology. You're 100% right about Excel, by the way. And but don't forget about that human touch.
Right.
You have to be able to make connections, because that's what's going to keep our guests coming back. That's why we're the hospitality capital of the world. It's all because of the connections we've made in all these years here in Las Vegas. So don't forget that. Learn those skills.
Thanks, Michael. So Brandon, what was your experience first applying for the ECF scholarship?
Hey, so much like Karen was talking about, she is a graduate from the Academy of Hospitality Tourism at Valley High School. Same with me. That program really propelled my passion towards the hospitality industry. And like Mr. Kennedy was saying, you really need to have that passion in order to succeed. It's really hard to give up yourself to, for the sake of someone else's experience, and really just putting your best foot forward for them. So when I heard about the ECF scholarship at Valley High School, it was like I had struck gold. It was exactly what I was looking for. And so as I applied and went through the interview process, it really helped me develop a strong sense of confidence and empowerment, because I am going into these meetings with, over a dozen of the top hospitality executives, in Las Vegas. And it was up to me to confront that and do my very best. And, it really, coming in as a high school student, that's not something you're used to being exposed to. And it really makes you feel good about yourself. It really allows you to see that the sky is the limit. So one thing I got from the application process is, it really builds up your interview skills, but most of all, it empowers students. It shows them that, you're 17, 18 years old, but you can go up in front of all these executives and still market yourself in a way that's very positive and, show that you have a lot to offer as even a high school student. So it's very empowering.
Thank you. Now, what's life for you like as an ECF and UNLV student?
Well, throughout my tenure with the Epicurean Charitable Foundation, I've been exposed to a lot of beautiful aspects of the hospitality industry. And much like everyone was talking about earlier, my network has been substantially expanded. I've been able to work with an amazing group of professionals over the course of my career as a scholarship recipient. It really is more than just a scholarship. I've gained event planning experience. I've received amazing guidance from industry experts. I've experienced tours of properties and restaurants. I've even earned jobs from the scholarship. And this is all aside from the fact that, my post-secondary education is being funded. So when we say it's more than just a scholarship, it really is. It's an experience, and it's almost like a cheat code. It really helps you in your career. If you're passionate about hospitality, you're now surrounded by industry experts who share that passion and can really guide you, in your infancy of your career.
Fantastic. Now, how has that mentoring part helped you?
So, more than just a scholarship, it goes right back to that. Every mentor I've had so it's a new mentor every year over my 4-year tenure in college. They've really been my North Stars for my post-secondary education. As a student, you're paired up with an industry professional who essentially they're going to guide you to do your best and to meet your max potential. They'll help you track your goals. They'll talk you through personal problems, whether it be family, whether it be educational, whether it be professional. They'll assist you in your career development and basically anything in between. It's really a beautiful relationship that I've grown with all of my mentors, and a lot of other students, they would be able to say the exact same thing. they're a wealth of knowledge and experience, and it's my absolute favorite part about the Epicurean Charitable Foundation scholarship recipient experience. For example, one of the amazing things that has come from this program is my current mentor, Colleen Birch. She provided me with an opportunity last summer to work in Alaska, and just from everything I've learned over the course of my experience at the UNLV Hospitality College and all my past work experience, as well as Epicurean Charitable Foundation, they're bringing me back next year to be the bar manager. So I'm going to be graduating with the management position waiting for me, just because, you know, of who I know and the work I've put in to get here. So, you know, the mentoring aspect of the Epicurean Charitable Foundation or scholarship is just, you know, you can't underestimate it. It's really such a big part of my life, and it's a huge reason why I'm at where I'm at today. So that's just one example of how it's helped me throughout my career.
Thank you, Brandon. We're very excited for your future and everything that you're going to obtain. We're so excited for you to go back to Alaska. That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
So now, Karen, what do you think it takes to get through college?
Great question. You know, it takes a lot to embrace everything that college has to offer. However, I'm going to lead with two things: is time management and focusing on the end goal, right? So the reality of things is that there will be days where you feel overwhelmed with everything you need to accomplish, with what, you know, wanting to take every opportunity that comes your way, but really remembering why you are pursuing your education and visualizing that satisfaction that you're going to feel and that confidence when you receive that diploma in your hands is ultimately what gets you through college.
Now, what advice would you give to maximize your ECF scholarship and Future Leaders Hospitality program?
There's so much, but I'll again narrow it down to two things. So one, your reputation follows you, so never burn any bridges. And two, I'll pass along something that one of my ECF mentors said to me, Anna Marie Mermando. She said, you know, never be afraid to ask the questions. The worst thing that'll happen is you'll hear a no, and then you just move on to find a different solution. I've used that throughout my college career and ever since then. And you'll be amazed how much people are willing to help you if you just simply ask the question.
Wonderful. Now, you mentioned your one of your past mentors, Anna Marie. So if you had to look back on your time at ECF, what would be the one takeaway that you think you take with you everywhere you go?
You know, the one takeaway again would be that thing that she told me, you know, never be afraid to ask that question. I remember when I was in my senior year, it was when the T-Mobile Arena was opening up. And I just wanted to see the inside of that. But I was just like, well, it's going to take a long time for it to even be built. It's going to be a long time for me to even be able to purchase a ticket to get in there. So I just asked her, and I shared my interest in wanting to see that. And she got me in. She got me in not only to see the property tour of the arena, but she got me into one of the suites to see a concert. That was just an amazing thing. And again, it wouldn't have been if I didn't just express that interest and ask that question.
Now, I love what you're saying. That's a really great piece of advice. Thank you for that. Now, we have a few additional questions from some of our attendees. Question, Michael, maybe you can answer this one. For those of them who are interested in culinary arts, are there any female chefs? And what are the paths to leadership positions as a female chef?
Well, I think the path to leadership is working very hard. You know, if you can't win with talent, excel with preparation. Be prepared, have mentors, ask advice, just like Karen was saying. You know, UNLV's hospitality program is amazing. The culinary art program, take lots of jobs in kitchens, go work in a restaurant. If you want to be a chef and a chef owner, you need to know everything about a restaurant. So not just the back of house, front of house as well. And there's some great examples. I mean, there's some that you know that people know. Giada at the Cromwell. She has two restaurants in town. Giada's in Pronto. Border Grill over at Mandalay Bay. Chef Mary Sue and Chef Susan Feiniger. I mean, they have an amazing long run at Mandalay Bay with one of the best Mexican restaurants in town. They're also authors. They're TV personalities. And then locally, there's a young chef, Jamie Tran. She's at Black Sheep. She started out as a dishwasher. She won, I think, the Eater Chef of the Year in the last year or two. And I remember reading up about her, and she started out as a dishwasher, prep cook, kept working her way up. She did some jobs in the front of the house. But I think that's the best way to do it, is to take advantage of every opportunity you can get in the restaurant industry. Me personally, I am not a chef, but I have spent time in the kitchens. That way, now in my current position, when I'm speaking to my chefs, I understand what they're talking about. I've been there. I can't do it the way they can do it, but I have been behind the line. I've been at a broiler. I've worked those hours. I actually took vacation years ago at a restaurant I worked at, asked for vacation time, got it, and then asked to work in the kitchen. And they looked at me like, well, I thought you were going on vacation. Yes, I'm going on vacation from wearing the suit and tie. I want to learn back of house operations. And that got me a leg up in that company because they saw the drive. So I think that would apply male, female, it doesn't matter. So.
Yes, Stowe.
And I think that's the advantage of coming to a school like UNLV, right? When I was going to college a long time ago, even before your parents were going to college, I didn't know anything about hospitality programs. And I went to a business school, and I just happened to have a professor in nutrition who was teaching a course in quantity food production. And I met him, and that sort of opened my whole life to hospitality. And at UNLV, all the chefs that were just mentioned, we know all those people, right? And so we can get you in to meet with these chefs and to spend time and do internships. And some of our professors, one of our professors who does a lot of our restaurant classes, Chef Mark, he worked for Joe Rubichon, he worked for Wolfgang Puck for years. We can give you all that access to the culinary side that then can learn the management side also.
Great, thank you. Next question. Due to the pandemic, many organizations have cut back on funding. How are you managing to fund such a wonderful program? Does anyone want to take that? Well, I will say that we are blessed to have a board that really does that hasn't let up, that hasn't stopped raising funds even throughout the pandemic. We have a general board, we have the executive board, and we have an associate board. And we are finding some really creative ways to raise funds during these times. And we are so thrilled to be able to provide at least 4 new scholarships to add to our, we funded 26 full ride scholarships during 2020. And we want to bring at least 4 new people in. So we're blessed to have relationships with so many different organizations in town. We're blessed to have our alumni continue to give back to help you navigate the waters. We're blessed to have some great media partners that help give us the exposure that people want to keep contributing. And we're such a great local organization that you don't see your money going to a national office or to overhead, but you actually can see that your check will change the trajectory of the students that are part of our program. So I think now more than ever, those who can contribute are contributing, and it's really our board who are the ones doing the lifting. Stowe?
I think one thing to really stress that's so important is when people are giving to organizations, they look and see, well, who are the graduates? People who have gone through this program, what are they doing now? And we look out and we see all the people that we've been able to work with over the years, and they're all very successful. And so then the donor says, well, I want to give to this organization because I can see what the results are. And I think it's really important as you think about applying to ECF, you don't want to just apply because you think, oh, it's a great way to get a free education. You want to be able to say, am I the type of person who 10 years from now, donors will look at me and say, wow, look what they did to Stowe, and look at how they helped Stowe be successful. I want to contribute to that organization. And I think it's very important as you think about ECF. Do you want to be a role model in this industry? Do you want to be the type of person like a Martha and Karen and even Brandon that people look up to and say, wow, the money that I gave really helped change some lives, and these people are incredibly successful and they're giving back. And that's why people donate. So if you have a responsibility by getting the scholarship of not only your own opportunities, but the opportunities for people who come behind you.
I love what you just said, Sto. That's exactly it. And we are an organization that keeps on giving. Yes, Michael.
If you remember Karen's advice earlier, ask the question. So if anybody on this call wants to donate, send us some money. We'll take it. Okay. So that's how we continue to raise money, because our board members and associate board members, we keep making connections in the city. We keep evolving. We used to do one main event called Menus, which was a wonderful event. But then we realized we need to grow, and we found ancillary ways to continue to fundraise. So again, feel free to donate, holler at me. Happy to come pick up the check.
Like the South Points Wine of the Month program. That was a shameless plug for you, Michael.
I didn't want to do it.
But yeah, and so, you know, we're coming up with these really great ways to continue to raise funds for you, the students. And my best advice I can give you right now is just to apply. Don't hang up and go back to, you know, just playing on the computer or binge watching the next Netflix show, but actually just start that application. We have money to give, and we want to find their next person to bring. We call it our family, but it's so much more than that. It's just this great, it's an internship, it's a business, it's a family, it's so many different things that we can be to you. So apply today. For the teachers or juniors that might be joining us, let us know so we can reach out to you next year and make sure that you know that the applications are live. One of the questions we got is it okay to reach out to the ECF panelists with help with the ECF scholarship? And yes, reach out to me, reach out to Christopher. That's what Christopher is there for. We're going to put up our email addresses for you. We're not there to help you with your college applications, your college exam, but that ECF scholarship, if you know an ECF student, ask them. If you know an ECF alumni, ask them. And Christopher and myself, we're not going to write your essay for you. We're not going to proofread it for you, but ask us those questions because we want you to succeed. We want you to be the best version of yourself. So I know we're getting short on time. We just have a few minutes left. And this is really, I'm going to ask all the panelists, tell me what's the one piece of advice you'd give to students, whether they're applying or during the interview process. If you can leave them with one piece of advice today, and I have two questions, so there's gonna be one after that, what would it be? Michael?
During the interview process, I would say, look at me, smile at me, talk to me, thank me. Same for the entire board. Be prepared, do those things, and you are way ahead of most people.
Thank you. Karen?
Dress the part and also be prepared. Practice.
Great advice, Martha.
Be passionate about hospitality. Really let us know why you want to be a leader in the hospitality, and most importantly, why do you want to be part of ECF?
Brandon?
Remember the 5 Ps. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. So no matter how nervous you are, just go in, do your research beforehand. If you come in knowing stuff about the organization, what they do, what their events are, who the board members are, and you can incorporate that into your interview answers, that already puts you above and beyond what, you know, a lot of other students are going to do. Just go. There's never such a thing as too much knowledge, and then, you know, be passionate, show that you actually care. Don't just do it for the full ride, do it because you want to get into one of the best hospitality schools in the world, and then, you know, figure out a way to turn that opportunity into a future for yourself. So prepare and be passionate. You could turn it down to 2 Ps if you want.
That's a great one. Thanks, Brandon. Sto?
I think the advice that I would want to give is be authentic, be who you are. Right? Don't try to be something you think people want you to be. Be who you are, be authentic, and the authenticity of your beliefs and your passion will come through. And I think there's always times when you're in an interview or you're doing things, and I've been guilty of it not my whole life, because I've obviously gotten older and I've learned, but we almost want to say, well, who do they want me to be? And I'll try to be like that. And that just leads to long-term failure. Just be who you are and be authentic, and that will come through in the interview.
But
definitely all the other things mentioned, like being prepared and things like that.
I think that's a great piece of advice. And when we go out to the schools and we talk to the students, we always say, don't Google the right answer, because then you're going to sound like everybody else. Be authentic, be you. We want to know who you are. We don't want to know that perfect answer that you found on your Google search. We want to know who you are exactly. And then my last question to our alumni and student is what's your favorite memory of being in the ECF program? Karen, you want to go?
My favorite one was going to New York City with my mentor and being there for the first time, getting to see all these property tours and restaurants and learning more about the industry. And the fact that I got to do it with my mentor makes it extra special.
And that's the Avero trip. So until we had COVID, every year we've sent 1 or 2 students to New York City with their mentors to have the most amazing culinary experience of even the mentor's lifetime most of the times. Michael's been on it as well. But yeah, that's a great one. Martha?
My favorite memories have been all the menus event. You can
That's
eat
mine
all
too.
the food that you want. Love that.
And to know what menus is, mentoring and educating Nevada's upcoming students, and know that when you get into this ECF program, you are going to the best dine around that Las Vegas has ever been a part of. You will never eat as well as you do at menus. It is such a great opportunity. Brandon?
Excuse
What's
me.
your-
Sorry, I muted, then I unmuted, but we're here now.
Welcome back.
So menus is like such an amazing experience. You know, every single menus I've been to has been absolutely wonderful. So I'll resonate with Martha on that one. Personally, my favorite thing has been able to represent ECF, whether it be, you know, on the radio, on the news. You guys have presented me with a lot of opportunities to share my story and basically how I've gotten to where I am now. And it brings me a lot of joy because one of the things that I wanted to do is give back. And even as a student, I've been able to do that, and being able to spread the good word of what this amazing organization does for students. It just brings me a really solid, warm feeling inside. So just wherever I go, being able to represent Epicurean and hoping to inspire the next generation of students who are very passionate about hospitality to follow and, you know, take up this great opportunity.
Thank you. And before I thank you all and end this call, does anyone have any final questions about the process for the panelists or anything else? You're welcome to unmute yourselves and turn on your mics. I'm sure you probably sent them on to Nikki, but you are welcome to join us now. So please feel free to do so. Otherwise, I just want to thank everyone. Panelists, thank you for your words, your encouragement, and your advice. They are absolutely invaluable for the next generation that are applying. So thank you all so much. And then everyone who's been on the call, thank you. For the media who's on the call, thank you for your time. And the students, apply, please. We want to give you these scholarships. So please apply. Reach out to Christopher or myself if you're confused on this application process. We're not in the schools this year, so we're going to help you get there. Thank you all so much for joining us. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Don't forget to go to ecflv.org for your application. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
And thanks,
Have
everybody.
a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you for having me, Nikki, Melissa.
Brandon,
Awesome
you've
job,
already gotten the scholarship.
Oh.
No, I'm just teasing. Thank you so much, Brandon. Thank you, Karen.
You guys have a
Thank you,
great rest of your
Vivian.
day.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks,
Thank
Nikki.
you. Goodbye.